Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Susan Hayes and I am the founder of Soul Activation, activating your authenticity. I am so excited to share with you today's topic, the emotional connection with dis-ease, because it is near and dear to my heart for many reasons, especially as an emotional energy release therapist for many years, and as a client, I was able to witness firsthand many clients with long-term physical ailments were able to heal, finally heal from these ailments, and in some cases instantly heal. And I found the same thing with my own journey, that these long-term ailments such as TMJ, physical jaw pain, headaches, neck pain, went away when I was able to release trapped emotions and limiting belief systems. So they changed my thoughts and changed the emotions connected to them. And so I would like to invite all of you to ponder some questions before we get started. How many of you have some kind of pain, physical condition, or illness that you've had a challenge in recuperating from? How many of you feel some type of resentment, anger, or frustration, or maybe sadness or fear about someone, towards someone, or something? And how many of you have no physical pain? However, you have this general dissatisfaction with your life, or maybe there's one area of your life where you don't feel completely fulfilled. So in today's presentation, I am going to talk about or share with all of you the power of your thoughts and how they can either improve your health or make it worse. I'm also going to talk about the body's natural mechanism to maintain homeostasis, to maintain that balance in your body. I will then follow up with some simple strategies that you can use and access to be able to facilitate your own healing. So now with that said, I just want to make sure and make it clear that these are not exercises or tools to replace any current medical care and guidance that you are receiving. Continue to take your medication, continue to follow the guidance of your doctors. And so these are tools and activities that also do not guarantee results. It's really up to you and what you choose to do and choose with your thoughts. So it can't harm you, although words can harm you, but you get to choose the words you'd like for your body. And so it will be talking about how we can choose thoughts and words that will actually raise our vibration and improve our health. So just wanted to get that out there. So a couple of quotes that are incredibly powerful I would like to share. The first one is from Nelson Mandela, and this is what he said. Resentment is like drinking poison and hoping someone else will die. Yeah, you're the one that's drinking the poison when you're feeling resentful. It's not affecting the other person. Another quote that I really like by Thomas Carlos, I think you pronounce his last name, is, it's not the snake bite that kills you, it's the venom that courses through your vein. So very similar to what Nelson Mandela was conveying, is that when we hold on to resentment and anger, it's really harming us. It's affecting our health, not the other person. So that's why this topic is I'm so passionate about it. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a couple of examples that really show that mind-body connection, just in case there are some of you who may be like, I don't know if I'm buying into that. It sounds kind of woo-woo. Although if you're here, then there's a part of you that knows that it's true. So what I'm going to invite you to think about is, what happens when you feel excited about something? Like, what happens? How do you feel? What physiological responses or physiological effect you feel in your body? So when you're excited, a lot of times you might feel butterflies in your stomach, your energy is up, you might feel a little jittery. For example, if you've just found out you and your partner are going to have a baby, maybe you're pregnant, or maybe you just won the lottery, maybe you just passed in a really important exam. So it tends to raise the vibration of your body and improve your health. So we're going to take that same scenario, like let's take being pregnant, or something that applies to your life, that where instead of you're excited, you're actually not excited. So maybe you found out that you're pregnant, but you're like worried, you're concerned. Maybe you're like, oh my God, what if my baby isn't healthy? I don't want to be pregnant right now. My career is just taking off. Or I can't believe my wife is pregnant. I can't believe my partner's pregnant. I don't want them to be pregnant right now. I don't want a child. And so it's that same event, that same experience, but the thoughts have changed. The thoughts have changed. And so with those new thoughts, you experience a different type of emotions in response to those thoughts. And so we talked about those emotions of feeling worried, maybe feeling fearful, kind of angry, frustrated. And so notice that those emotions trigger a different type of physiological response. It's not the same response as you would get with happy, like excited emotions. So now you may notice when you feel that way, you may have some of those same butterflies in your stomach, but for a different reason. Like you feel uneasy. Maybe your stomach feels upset. You might start to get a headache. You might start to notice shoulder pain or neck pain, or maybe you're even clenching your jaw. So these are all physiological responses to the emotions you're feeling, and the emotions are connected to the thoughts that you have. So these thoughts can also be belief systems. Belief systems have a lot to do with the thoughts that we have in terms of how we react or respond to a situation. They're all connected. Okay, so now let's think of another scenario with some different types of emotions. An emotion that probably a lot of us are feeling lately. We are human, and that's the emotion of anger and maybe resentment and frustration. So think of a time where someone or something made you really angry, and maybe you can think of something right now. And so if you express that, if you found yourself maybe yelling or screaming or maybe getting really angry, think about the thoughts that maybe you had in your head. Maybe it was like, oh, I can't believe I lost my job to COVID, or I can't believe they cut me off. I can't believe they slammed the door in front of my face, or I can't believe that so-and-so said this on Facebook. So times where you've really gotten angry. And so those thoughts that maybe you had, which I just mentioned, and then in response to those thoughts, what was the physiological response? So when people tend to have those kind of thoughts and express their anger outwardly, and it's explosive, you may notice that your face starts to turn red. You might get a tension headache. You might get neck or back pain, maybe jaw pain. Your blood pressure may go up, and you actually restrict your blood flow. So there are actually physiological symptoms and manifestations of the thoughts and the emotions that we have. And so with anger, there are also those who may not express that anger at all. Instead, they repress those emotions of anger, frustration, or resentment. And so they're still feeling them, and maybe they still have those thoughts like, I can't believe they said that, like, oh, I'm so mad. So they're still thinking some of those same thoughts as those who are expressing it outwardly. However, they're repressing them. They're not telling others how they feel. They're not being honest about it. They're just keeping it under the lid, so to speak. And I'm doing this because it reminds me of a pot of boiling water. So that anger is still there. Those thoughts of anger are still there, and the body still feels it and is going to respond to it. And so it's like that pot of boiling water where the more it boils or the more the anger builds and builds, the lid starts to quiver until eventually that lid flies off. There's a reason why we have the expression fly off the handle. So there's different ways to express or not express that anger. And there are also those who maybe have learned some really helpful tools and are more neutral And so some people are maybe able to look at a situation and respond in such a way that they don't become angry. Maybe some of those same similar situations, yet they're able to shift their perspective and see it from a different way where it doesn't invoke anger. So it's really, we are in charge of our thoughts. We get to choose our thoughts in response to the events and experiences that are happening around us. So now I'm going to share an incredibly powerful story of my husband's own journey with dis-ease. Now, just to give you a little bit of background, my husband always led an incredibly healthy lifestyle. He ate well, he ate a lot of green smoothies, he had cut out coffee, really reduced his amount of meat intake so that he would have less acidity in the body. He made sure he got out in nature, got his vitamin D. He did things that he really enjoyed doing, like dancing, making jokes. He loved his job. He loved his family. In fact, people would always say, he's so kind, he's so funny, and he's so calm. He's so nice. So when my husband was diagnosed with throat cancer at 56 years of age, we were all in shock because he was so healthy. Yet, as my husband contemplated on this new diagnosis and reflected on it, he realized that he was aware of the very first twinge of pain in his throat 6 months earlier at his dad's funeral. And he had been hoarse. His voice had been hoarse since then. It's actually what prompted him to go to the doctors. My husband realized that he still had a lot of resentment and anger at his dad. And now it was like he felt it was too late to express that. And my husband told me that the reason why he never really told his dad what he thought, how he really felt, is because he wanted to be honorable and respectful to his dad. That's what he had learned as a child. And so by doing so in that way, not expressing how he really felt, my husband was being anything but respectful or honorable, because he wasn't respectful and honorable to his own true feelings. And is it really being nice if you're not being honest about your feelings? So my husband was being dishonest, which is treason to the body. And so as my husband continued to reflect on this, and as the disease progressed, my husband had actually written down that there were certain belief systems that he had been imprinted with and programmed with as a child. He believed that if he got angry and expressed it outwardly, that he would look ridiculous, that he would look weak, that he would lose his composure, and most importantly, that he could lose in a really important relationship. And in this case, the relationship with his dad. And that is why he chose not to express how he truly felt. However, the body is still feeling it. The thoughts are still there. The emotions are still there. And so the body is still going to have a physiological response to those thoughts and to those emotions. And so even though my husband didn't really yell or scream or express how he truly felt, the body knew how he felt. And the body showed it in different ways. And my husband recognized that there were many warning signs well before he was diagnosed with throat cancer. My husband had had reflux for years, almost 30 years. And so this is where the food comes back up out of the stomach, comes back up into the throat. It's very acidic. And it was almost as if my husband was, the body was wanting to express what my husband was afraid to express. And so he had reflux. And that's often associated with those who are afraid to express how they truly feel. Not always, but often. And then on top of that, my husband also engaged in regurgitation. Now, regurgitation is where you intentionally bring your food back up after it's already swallowed. You bring it back up to chew it some more to supposedly improve your digestion. Now, on some level, subconscious level, my husband was not, my husband's body was wanting to bring it back up and have him express his ideas, but he still was not digesting those beliefs or ideas. And so the body was trying to bring it up. And my husband was so determined to make sure he was respectful and honorable, and he didn't want to look weak or ridiculous. He just kept a lid on it. Well, eventually my husband lost his voice box. The cancer grew so much that he needed to have it removed. And so he lost his ability to speak or express himself verbally completely. And yes, eventually my husband did lose his life to cancer. However, what if it was an experience or journey he had chosen on a soul level so that he could exponentially accelerate his emotional and spiritual growth? Because he gained so much wisdom with his journey. We shared a deeper love. And because I shared that journey with him, I was able to accelerate and have been accelerating my own growth. And so I am so thankful to my husband. I am grateful for his journey. I am able to see the blessings, and so was he. He never complained. He was able to recognize why he may have created it, and he could learn from it. And I do believe that I know that he's wanting me to share this information so that others can have a stronger idea of the power of thoughts and the mind-body connection. So what if that was his life purpose? If that's the case, he achieved it. And so if you have cancer or some other serious illness, or even if it's not serious, or you know somebody else who does, or somebody who's passed, I'm going to invite you to notice the lessons, the blessings, and let go of any judgment. Because maybe that's just how it is. That's just how it is. Allow it to be however it has been. And if you or somebody else is sick and you wanted to continue on with your journey here on the planet, then maybe you can get better. It's really up to you. You get to choose. You get to choose. My husband was healed by dying. That was his choice. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do an activity, an exercise that will focus on letting go of anger and resentment, since these are some of the emotions that if we keep trapped in our body can really create dis-ease. So this is an activity to help create more ease in your life. So you can pause the video here if you'd like before we start, because I would like to make sure that you're in a comfortable position, that you're in a quiet location, as quiet as it can be, that you have comfortable clothing on. Maybe you want to light a candle, get your favorite crystal. It's up to you. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. And just start to slow your breath down. Take a full, relaxed, and deep breath in, and then slowly exhale, letting that air all the way out. Do that a couple of more times, noticing the rise and the fall of your chest. Think now of someone that you may resent or feel angry with, someone or something. Imagine that this person or event is in front of you. What would you say to them? Tell them how you really feel. This person may be living, or they may have already passed. Either way, this activity is beneficial. Don't hold back. Express exactly how you feel. Tell them how you feel they may have hurt you, by maybe something they did do, or perhaps by something they didn't do. And keep breathing. Breathe gently. I now invite you to become aware of a balloon that is attached to your arm or some other part of your body. Notice the color of this balloon. This will often represent or be associated with a part of your body, an organ that is now not or hasn't been functioning optimally because of this anger or resentment that you've been feeling towards this person or event. The string that is attached to your body represents the energetic cord that has developed as a result of the anger and resentment, not allowing you to fully enjoy your life. I invite you to now look inside the balloon and imagine that the person or event that you were angry at or resentful toward, imagine that this represents their higher self. This is where you see their divine self, their divine essence, their divine love. Who they truly are. And you can ask the following questions. What's right about this that I can now be aware of? What are the blessings in disguise? What is this teaching me? Maybe it's showing you that you can be stronger. Maybe it's pushing you in a direction that's more optimal for you. Maybe it's showing you that you deserve better. Or maybe it's showing you how to have more compassion. With this greater awareness that you may now have, and if you're ready, you can forgive this person or situation. And so you can say, I forgive you. Because forgiving is about forgiving peace to yourself. If this is a person or event that you would like to remain in your life, keep that balloon nearby. And if you choose to, you can imagine yourself untying the balloon actually cutting the string, the cord, and that balloon will stay nearby. If it's a person, a relationship, or an event that you would like to let go of, you can imagine yourself blowing on that balloon and watching it as it gently drifts away. Wish that person or event well, and notice how in being able to dissipate some of that resentment or anger, that your body is at greater ease. And if you perhaps are not ready to forgive this person or event yet, be okay with that. And know that you can repeat this activity as often as you would like. And you can also repeat it with different people or events. I'm now going to invite you to become aware of your body in the space that you're in. Your back against a chair perhaps. And begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Now, some of you may have noticed that with that particular exercise, maybe it was somebody that already passed that you wanted to forgive or had resentment and anger with. Maybe it was even you. I find that sometimes we can hold some of the greatest resentment and anger at ourselves. So if that's the case, good for you, and good for you for whatever your choices are. Some of you may be compelled to do some other exercises to help to integrate this resentment or anger. Maybe it hasn't totally left your body. You can write letters expressing how you truly feel. Now, if you think that this letter will not be received well and it would not be conducive to send it, then I wouldn't send it. You can write it. Just getting your feelings on the paper is helpful in dissipating those emotions. And you can even have a burning ceremony. There's lots of different things that you can do. There are a lot of other different ways to help release trapped emotions, to help integrate and process different types of emotions. And so if this resonated with you, if you'd like to learn more about how you can create greater ease in your body, that will bring you abundance in every single area, not just monetarily or financially, but just having joy, having that birthright of joy in your life, and more authentic and better improved relationships. So just a relationship with yourself. I'm a work in progress. I'm always on my journey. So I just want to make it clear that I am living on this planet. Every now and then there's layers that kick up where I feel really resentful and angry. So I go back to some of these activities, and in particular the exercise that I shared with you today. Now, I have a program online that I just launched called the Abundance Academy, how to activate your brain, your body, and your business for success. Please check it out if it's something that you think will resonate with you, or share with somebody else. And for joining today, you are entitled to a complimentary coaching call, and that link will also be attached. So take advantage of that. I look forward to chatting with you. In the meantime, peace and love, and I wish you greater ease, harmony, and love. Susan Hayes with Soul Activation. Bye for now.